Hello, everyone. Good morning. Happy Saturday morning, afternoon,
Saturday.
evening, or Sunday morning. For those who
Hi,
are down
everyone.
under, yes. Welcome, everyone. We have another special guest today. David, welcome back. Always good to see you here.
Yay!
And we might have another special guest joining us. She was invited
Yes.
and she said she was coming, so hopefully
Mhm.
she will join us shortly. But
Mhm.
anyways, welcome everyone who's here live and everyone who's watching on demand after the fact. We enjoy having all of you, and so thank you very much. Let's see who is. It looks like Melanie from Down Under was the first one to comment with a couple
Yay.
emojis there: kangaroo, koala, and beach umbrella. Oh yeah, because it's still summer for you guys.
Yes. Woohoo.
And then Amanda, it was said right next. Hello, Amanda. Rick Leland joined in. Dee is here as well, and Hilary Gadsby from Wales. God is love. Oh, John Tyner. I love that handle. God is love, Ireland. That's a great handle. Chris Ferriolo, 1935. Now, Chris was not born in 1935. I'm sure. He does not look that old. So, Ravonda Wack. Ravonda, how you doing? Tamara is here. Claire from greetings from Dublin. Nice to have you, Claire. Claire Roots. It's probably not Claire. I'm not sure if your name is
From the
Claire.
County Clare.
County Clare is more likely. Yes. Well, welcome, County Clare. Patty is here. Oh, he is County Clare.
Hey!
There we go. Patty is double dipping today. That's hilarious.
Oh, wow. Hi, Patty.
Dame Ellen the First is here. Love that. Susie Carta, David Dodd from Washington. Murray Maloney, how you doing, Murray?
Hey, Murray.
Murray's been working on some really cool stuff that I think we might see
amazing.
Tomorrow and Monday nights. Yes, so that's very cool. On the tech show. So Tech Talk. And the newts. Patricia Jackson is here from Kentucky. How you doing? And Yoke is here from the Netherlands. How you doing, Yoke? Patricia Havens, good morning to you. And Terry Burks from Columbus, Ohio. That's your neck of the woods, isn't it, Denise?
That's right. We're neighbors.
Are you? Excellent. Fantastic. And Donna Smith is here from Florida. And I think, have I missed anyone? If I have, I apologize. It's hard to scroll through and not miss the names and whatnot. But anyways, welcome everyone. So that's great. Glad you're here for another issue or another session of the Roundup, the Saturday Roundup. And before we begin, I do want to mention that, we've been doing, the Roundup has been going on for a number of years. And then I joined in with Megs and, our hosts have changed. And as we change, the format changes and stuff. And also the timeline seems to get longer and longer. So it's good every now and then to just review what you're doing and think about, is it serving this purpose? Are people still enjoying it? Is there something we should change or update or tweak or whatever? So this week there were 2 G2G posts that were posted about that. So Betsy posted one about, thank you. There we go. Someone's put the link right in the chat. Fantastic. Betsy started off posting, and the first question was just about the length. How much sitting can your butt endure listening to us going on?
And ours.
He phrased it much nicer than that. But what's the ideal time frame? When I first joined, we always aimed at around an hour, and shortly after I joined, we kept missing that mark. So Megs, of course, blamed me, which was probably true. And it's gotten longer and longer, and we have been getting some feedback. And surprising to me, most of the feedback is weighing on, keep it, take as long as you need and whatnot. But I don't know if that's what everyone wants. So we want to hear from, everyone who, especially the regulars. What do you think is the ideal length? And the second post, which I made, was about content and what segments we have. And I listed in that post the segments that we're doing regularly. Some of those are weekly, some of those are monthly, some of those are as things pop up, sort of ad hoc. And some segments we don't do anymore. And then there's segments that we haven't even thought of doing. So if you want to know what sort of stuff would you like us to cover on the Roundup? And I mean, if we have 15 different segments, that might not be doable, but we might have to shop around anyways. But we want to hear your feedback. And if you've got some ideas, Chris, I do like your idea, more musical numbers, but last time I played piano for a live cast, we got a notice from YouTube, but trying to take it down because it sounded too much like a real song. So you'll just have to come to Roots Tech and we'll just sing in the booth.
Yeah, I mean, Greg and I will be in the same place for that live cast, so we could do something
with Vicky.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Well, Vicky, can you? What can you?
I can dance.
Okay.
I can sing. I can sing. Yes, I can.
That's right. So, anyway, if you could give us feedback, that would be greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
So, but enough about that. Denise, why don't you take it away and have David join us and talk about this project.
Okay. Well, hello, everyone. Hello. And of course, this week we're looking at U.S. President's Project. And from what I understand, this project has been revived from previous years. And we're going to have David Randall coming in. And not coming in, he's here. Hi, David. And he's going to be sharing with us some information about the U.S. President's Project. So how's it going, David?
It's going very well, thank you. So you want me to just go ahead and start with what we're up to? Okay.
Yes, tell us about the U.S. President's Project.
So the U.S. President's Project has been around a long time. Long before I was here, I went back and looked, and it's one of our earliest projects. I think it goes back something, if I recall, something like 12 years. And there's only been, we've had 47 presidents, 45 men, because two repeated. So there's 45 profiles. So it would seem like after 12 years, 45 profiles would be pretty much wrapped up in an order, but that's not the case. The profiles of the presidents are pretty good overall, particularly if you don't look too carefully. But when you do look carefully, the first thing we found out or discovered was that a number of them were copy and pasted from Wikipedia. So that's a big no-no, and we've been going through and fixing that. So that's pretty much taken care of. But there's still a lot of work to just kind of get some consistency involved, so that as you travel from one president to the next, the flow kind of stays the same, and you're not having to kind of reorganize your brain each time you get to a new profile. So that's one of the things that we're working on there. But this year, as most people probably know, this is the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence and founding of our country, the United States. And we are joining in. There's an organization called America 250. It's a nonprofit, bipartisan organization that was formed to kind of coordinate events throughout the United States, and they're doing a lot with volunteer organizations, where you're not necessarily officially affiliating, but they're just encouraging people to go out and volunteer. And you can actually, as an individual, you can even go on their site, America 250, and keep track of your hours. And they're kind of doing a cumulative, everybody put your hours in and let's see how many hours we can get across America volunteer time. So just kind of an informal, fun thing they're doing. But a couple of the projects, starting with the 1776 project here on WikiTree, are really focusing their efforts on, America's. I'm not even going to try to say I will try to say it. It's something like the sesquicentennial something or another. It's a long word. It's not quite as easy as bicentennial. I remember the bicentennial. That was a lot easier to say. We're coming up with some ideas for how we're going to celebrate as we get closer to July 4th. So what we're doing with the U.S. presidents is I have put out a request for volunteers to one person for each president. And we've received, I think, 30. We have 38 volunteers so far. We're looking for 45, so we're pretty close to our goal. And each person is not only responsible for the presidential profile, but we're also doing the immediate family. So they will be responsible for the president, the first lady, if there was one, the president's parents, siblings, and children. So basically, all those people you see on the profile in the corner listed as family, we're including all of those profiles as well. We want to get them all so that if somebody comes on and looks at the presidential profile and then they want to say, oh, I want to learn about his kids, and they open it up, right now they're going to see a lot of blank pages. They've got profiles. Everybody's got a profile, but not everybody's got a biography written out. So we're working real hard on getting all of that together by July 4th. And that may not seem as daunting as it turns out to be, but when you add all those people together, it's, I think, 618 profiles. So it does add up real quickly.
So David, can I ask,
Sure.
because some of these later presidents that are still living, their family members are still living.
Right.
So will they be considered living notables, or how is that going to work?
So this becomes interesting. We do have a rule that for privacy purposes, we restrict access to the profiles of living people. A project can open up a profile for a living notable, and we have criteria that is in place for determining whether somebody is a living notable or not. Just because somebody is living and they're notable doesn't make them a WikiTree living notable.
Right.
A living notable has to have Wikipedia page in at least 3 languages. And on at least 2 of those pages, they have to have family members mentioned by name. So they could have 15 pages, but if they don't have any family members listed, then they're not considered a living notable in terms of WikiTree, because the assumption is that they don't want their family members named if it's not out there publicly. If it's already out there publicly, family members in a couple different languages on Wikipedia, then we're not as concerned about the privacy issue for that. But again, a member cannot create those profiles. The rules apply. WikiTree rules for living people apply whether the person is notable or not. So you cannot create a profile for a living person unless you are related and you have their permission. And it doesn't matter how famous that person is. If you want to work on a profile of a famous living person, you need to affiliate yourself with a project, and the project has to manage that profile. So it doesn't have to necessarily be the Notables Project. It can be the U.S. Black History Project. It can be the Appalachia Project. As long as you have a project with a leader that's sponsoring that profile and that profile meets the criteria, then we can open it up. If you create a profile for somebody that doesn't meet that criteria, that profile winds up being locked and nobody's ever going to see it. So it serves no purpose to do that. Now, so going back to the U.S. presidents, you're right. There are a number of living presidents and there are a number of presidents that have living family. So what we have to do with each individual is look to see if their family is considered a living notable or not. An interesting example is Jimmy Carter, who had 4 children, I think 4, maybe 5. 2 of them are living notables and the others are not, because 2 of them, Amy Carter and Jeff Carter, I think, have Wikipedia pages in 3 languages with obviously their parents are listed on their page. The other sons do not have Wikipedia pages, and therefore they're not considered living notables, and we cannot have their profiles open.
Wow. Okay.
So it's going to depend on the individual. Now, the other piece of that, and this gets a little bit frustrating for some people, but when we first kind of revised the most recent rules on this, which was maybe 2 years ago or so now, we went through the living notables and we found hundreds, if not thousands, of members who were managing profiles for living people, notables. And the concern became, if we're telling people that we're protecting privacy of living people, and yet we have 1,000 different members managing these profiles, we don't even know who many of these members are. Some have been deceased for years. Some have left WikiTree years ago. We needed to get some sort of control over who's managing all these profiles if we're going to make the claim that we're protecting people's privacy. We had individuals with 15 different members managing the profile, or at least on the trusted list. Again, we can't say we're managing, and any of those people can add additional members and trusted list people as well. So the rule that we use on most of our projects, Notables does, U.S. Presidents does, is we don't allow members to manage profiles, but we do, only the project will manage the profile, but we do allow them to work on the profile, and there's ways around it. One of the options that we have is to open up a free space page. You write out your biography, you do all the work there, and then when you're ready, you let us know, and we transfer it over to the profile for you.
I see.
So you can still do the work. We still encourage people. We want people to do that work. A lot of people think, we're not allowed to work on living notables. Well, we really do want you to do that. We just can't open the doors up to anybody to come in and take over the profile, because there are rules about what we can and can't say. You're not allowed to name other living family members. So you can't say he's married to so-and-so and these are the names of his children. We don't put anything that's controversial, that, for various celebrities, histories of drug abuse or criminal records or, marital conflicts, those kinds of things. We don't put those in. And somebody has to monitor that. We have 2 leaders on Notables, myself and Scott Fulkerson, and we're responsible for almost 7,000 living notable profiles. So we can't monitor what's going on all of those unless we kind of cut it off at the start, where we say, before you put the information on, let us see it.
Yeah.
Rather than us having to go through and try to keep up with all of the changes that go on all the time. So that's
Wow.
what
Yeah.
that applies to the U.S. presidents as well. So if you're going to, adopt, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Barack Obama, if you want to, work on any of those families, we welcome that, and we'll work with you on that. But we can't just outright give control of the project of the profiles away.
Yeah, we've got Barack Obama under USBH.
Right, U.S. Black Heritage volunteered to take over the Obama family, which was great.
Yeah,
and that's a good example. His daughters are not, they're known, but they're due their privacy. When you talk about the president or the first lady, they pretty much gave up their privacy a long time ago. But the kids, the parents, the siblings, they're still entitled to.
Yeah.
To that.
Well, thank you, David. As always, you've got some very helpful information. Anyone that's interested in joining the U.S. President's Project, there's a G2G post out there. So go out there and join that project. Obviously, there's a lot of work that still needs to be done. So your assistance would be great.
And we do still have probably a half dozen presidents that are not adopted. Most of the living ones are not, but there's a few. I think there's about 3 others that are deceased that are still available. What you would be doing is adopting the entire family and then coordinating that. Now, you don't have to adopt a family to work on the project. Anybody can come in, just like any other profile. Anybody can come in and help us improve the profiles. But if you want to be a coordinator, we still have a few positions open for that as well.
All right. Thank you. Once again, thanks for coming. and
Thank
being my
you.
guest, David. Always a joy having you.
Thank
And
you.
this
Thank you,
concludes.
David.
Mhm.
Yep,
Thanks,
this
Dave.
concludes Behind the Branches for today.
Great.
Excellent.
I know someone who's very interested in the U.S. President's Project,
Mhm.
and she's with us finally. We have
Yes.
Carrie Given with us,
Carrie.
Hi, Carrie.
One of our
our member of the
coordinators.
week.
Hello.
Yes. Hi, Carrie. Well, you're a very well-known patriot because you're very active in the 1776 Project. You're a daughter of the American Revolution. Well, you're part of the U.S. President's Project, and you're also an Appalachian. So, biscuits.
Excellent.
And welcome. Thank you for accepting our invitation. I'm glad you made it.
Thank you.
Well, Gary, we congratulate you for being our member of the week, and I can see there are many reasons why you were nominated. So you've done a great work. You help a lot of people finding their path to the Daughters of American Revolution. So great, congrats.
Thank you very much.
Carrie, I always ask one question to all our guests, and we are always interested in how you got interested in genealogy. What was it that sparked your curiosity?
My father was really interested in it and worked a lot with elderly people in my family, and he gathered up so much information. It just kind of passed it along. Everybody passed it down from generation to generation, and I'm, I guess, one of the only kids really that got interested in it. My brother and sister don't really do much with it, and I really liked it and stuck with it.
Great, yeah. I'm sure you inherited a lot of documents and things that your father gathered during the years.
Yeah, my grandmother actually saved everything, and I guess like most grandmothers do. And there was just, the house was full of stuff and old newspaper articles and just things she had saved. It was so neat to go through it all.
Wow, what a treasure. And is there anything that you would like to comment about the U.S. President's Project? Maybe you need help with some of your work?
I actually just got involved with it. It's kind of still new to me, and haven't really done a lot with it just yet, but I'm excited to get into it.
And to be one of the volunteers,
Yeah.
right?
And
That's
what is your assignment? What is your president?
James Madison.
James Madison.
Yes, you're related.
Second cousins.
Wow.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yes, and I still don't know a lot about it. I'm just learning and getting into it.
Yeah,
Now,
great.
Is that the Madison that Madison Square Gardens is named after?
I don't know.
You're gonna find out now.
Right.
That's great. And I can really relate to you because I also have a lot of patriots, well, in Chile, that fought for Chilean independence. So I feel like you do. I'm really proud of my legacy. Well, my ancestors' legacy, of course.
I think once you get into researching Madison, you will find that he's connected to some other presidents as well. So you're going to find some connections. That's going to be interesting.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I'm excited to learn.
And you're related. How are you connected with the American Revolution in general?
I just this past year became a member of the Daughters of the American Revolution, so that's all new to me as well. Brand new member, and just started taking the new members course, and that's all new to me as well. But it's exciting to learn all the history and
So does that mean you're a direct descendant of one of the daughters, I guess?
It means I'm a direct descendant of a patriot from the American Revolution.
Patriot. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
And
great.
there's a lot of other members, WikiTree members, that are also members of DAR, Daughters of the American
Mhm.
Revolution. So, you may want to put a post out on G2G and ask, because there's a lot of them out there. I know of 3.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to highlight some questions that you answered in your interview, your member of the week interview. And well, I really enjoyed what you said about being having a surprise rock. You were rocked by the Appalachian project, your team, and you said that after that you wouldn't leave WikiTree. So you will stay with
Everybody
us.
was so nice and welcoming and helpful, and it made it so exciting. And yeah, I didn't want to leave after that.
That's great. And well, I will read some of your phrases. You said, "I hope I've helped someone on WikiTree and touched their life in some positive way. It's nice to think of myself as being one of those ancestor angels, like Sandy." You mentioned our dear Sandy. And spreading the love for genealogy around like magic. I really loved you're really inspired. You're really inspiring, Carrie. And finally, you were asked for any tips to get involved in our community, and you said Discord communities like WikiTree, Appalachian 1776 all communicate fast and spread WikiTree love like wildfire. I love that. Join them all, you say. So thank you for your tips and congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Please stay with us. Feel free to comment. We will ask you more questions about any other themes, but just feel free to chat us if you were with friends. We're
Thank you so
cousins.
much. I'm not sure how long I can stay on, but thank you so much.
Okay. Whenever you need to, you just say bye and we'll say bye.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, you, Carrie.
Thanks, Carrie.
Well, that's great. Shall we go on with the theme? I don't know. What do you say?
Sure. Go on.
So the questions of the week, actually, I think our official theme for Connection Checkers is U.S. presidents.
It is U.S. president.
But the question of the week is not in line with that.
No,
So
it's about the Olympians.
Should we go to Greg and then we'll do mine?
Sure.
Yeah. Or you want to see the profile makeovers?
Let's do the profile makeover.
Yeah, you have the mic. So.
We're improvising. Well,
yeah,
we're relaxed. Well, I'll share my screen. I don't really. I have one new profile makeover. First of all, we had a question from, I think it was Mel, or was it Amanda? It was Mel. She was asking about couples that worked. Well, actually, since the theme of February is love stories and partnerships, it could be couples, I mean, like lovers who worked as a couple or who didn't work because they were a couple anyway. And maybe partnerships about being about friends that work together, that made a company. It could be a couple of male friends, right? Because they founded a company or they were friends all their lives. Whatever kind of couple you could think of. I don't know when you were asking if they worked together, I mean, if they worked out or if they worked in a job environment. So whatever couple you could think of is valid. Or, it's just a suggestion. You could do whatever makeover you want. So remember last week we saw makeovers made by Felicity Hughes, and I said that this lady, Catherine Mary Hughes, was her grandmother, but she corrected me because I just assumed. Because when I saw the connection between her and Catherine,
Sure.
I assumed this was her mother. So, and that was her grandmother. But no, she's her aunt. Okay. And Catherine, well, we couldn't see her pictures, remember?
Right.
So, sorry, I'm just jumping. She said, I want to read what she said because I felt glad. She says, wow, I did not expect such a detailed analysis. Just to clarify, Catherine was not my grandmother. She and Joan were both aunts because we saw two makeovers, hers and Joan. I mentioned spelling and location differences in research notes precisely because I've had issues locating records where something was recorded in a way I didn't expect. Remember, it really caught my attention how she was so precise about locations. For every profile, she determined, for instance, this one. Kath's funeral notice lists her place of death as Essendon North. Arcadia Aged Care is, in fact, on the northern boundary of Essendon, south of the suburb of Essendon North. She was really, she has really descriptive locations, and she added research notes on all of them. And she said, well, that's why I mentioned them. I found immigration records to be notorious for this, for changing locations. And she explains why we couldn't see the photos. And maybe this has happened to you, so I think it's worth mentioning. One of the settings I used when saving the photos in GIMP, this kind of format, GIMP file, was causing them to display as blank boxes. But I've changed it, and they're fine now. There's a discussion about it here. So she gives the links to a GTG post. So if you want to look for that, just use this post of the profile makeover. And she said, it's gratifying to have one's research appreciated and thought processes so well understood. Thank you. So, no, thank you, Felicity.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yes, she's done such a nice work. And, well, she finally could display these amazing photographs that I really want to, if we could see them, they looked at like those advertisings of the, I don't know, 50s. Remember, like, I don't know, Coke advertising. They're great portraits. They're kind of painted, right? Like colored.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
It may have been colorized. It may have been a sepia, and it was colorized. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, this was the other photo that we couldn't see. It's Kenneth, his Catherine's husband, also on that wedding portrait. And this was the second makeup that she did for her Aunt Joanne. And we also could see this beautiful portrait. Nice. And I said she looked like a peanut girl. She's so beautiful. Well, and now Felicity didn't tell me, but I found out that she did also the makeover for Joanne's husband. So this is what I'm going to show you. We can see the before, but she improved his biography. She added sources, and she also added this kind of precision, precise location on her research notes. So that's great. Another one great profile makeover with photographs. So thank you, Felicity. You're such a great addition for our challenge. So that's it for this week.
That takes a special challenge because some of the profiles I see that are like skeletons, I'm not touching them. I'm just not that creative.
Yes, it takes time. Yeah. But it takes love too. And it's so gratifying to spread those dashes of love around our tree. So thank you, Felicity. Congrats.
Yeah.
And
see Mel's comment there. Mel's comment there.
Real quick with a.
Go ahead.
I forgot to plug myself earlier, but based on what Denise just said, today at 2 p.m. Eastern, we're having a U.S. President's Notables Combined Workshop, and we're going to tell you how to create a profile if you don't know how to create a profile. I mean, if you're not good at writing bios, we're going to show you how you can do it. Even if you're not the best of writers. So
auto bio is my favorite.
People like Denise, tune in and we'll show you how to some workarounds for that.
Awesome. Thank you. That's good.
And there's
to
a
know.
link somewhere on G2G. So
well, I can see, here's what Melanie was asking. She says, I made over a profile for someone who got engaged, but the guy married someone else and she dedicated her life to others. So that's a sad story, but it would fit this month.
Yeah.
Of course.
That's for those couples that don't work out that she was asking about.
You know, these things happen.
Yeah, the couple thing just didn't work.
Yeah, you have 1 week to share that with us, so it would be great to see it next week.
Great. Question of the week time?
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Well, this one was a lot of fun. It's going to be interactive. So get ready. The co-hosts, I already gave them their homework.
Oh, yeah.
Before we came on this morning. So, question of the week is, which Olympic gold medalist are you closest to? So I actually watched I haven't been watching the Olympics, but last night I was on YouTube and I saw a video of Alyssa Liu, her gold winning performance. So I thought, hey, I'm going to check this out. And wow, that was really, I did a little figure skating when I was 12. So I can appreciate what she was doing. Amazing, just jaw dropping. So I want to show this here. So in order to play, maybe somebody else could put the question of the week link up there, or just even better yet, the connection, the category. So if you click on that, do you have it, Greg?
Yeah, I do. I got
Great.
it right there.
Yeah. So I want to make sure that maybe if we have some newer people watching in the audience that you know about this, WikiTree has categories for everything under the sun. From people who were playwrights, Olympic gold medalists, they lived, were born or died in a certain location, they were involved with a particular event in history. If you can say something, a fact about a person, there's probably a category that you can put them into. So right now we're looking at the 744 WikiTree profiles that have been put in this category. And this is something that the person working on the profile needs to do actively. You would add a special bit of code. But all of these categories have a My Connections button. And so when you click on that, then it shows for me how I'm connected amongst these 744 profiles.
Woohoo, look at you.
Yes, I have 7 or so cousins. These are actually like blood relationships, and then these ones with the connections have a marriage somewhere along the path. So I took a look. Now you go here, and if you click on this little U, then it will open a separate tab and show how I'm connected to this person, Tenley Albright. And so it shows that we are both. Actually, this was extra interesting to me because I've been working on my Van Tassel line the last few weeks. I sort of had a little momentum movement forward or backwards in this line. So it was really nice to see the connection coming through there. Everyone who's watching live, go ahead and check this out and tell us who you're connected to. And then I also thought that Tenley, then of course I didn't know who Tenley Wright was, so I had to go check out her WikiTree profile. She's still living, and she was a figure skater. She won gold in 1952. Yep, and a silver medal in figure skating. And then after that, she retired from skating in 1956 and went on to get a medical degree.
Wow.
From Harvard. She was the daughter of a surgeon, and she herself went on to be a surgeon. And in 1976, she was even the chief physician for the U.S. Winter Olympic team. What I also read her WikiTree, her Wikipedia profile, and what is not reflected in this bio yet is the fact that she had polio as a child.
Wow.
And so the skating was a part of her rehabilitation.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just amazing what that developed into. Not only a rehabilitation, but such accomplishment. So check that out and see who you're connected to. Now, in terms of answers to the post, we'll just highlight a few. Didn't we say Rick? Rick Cleland's in here, right?
What?
I didn't see Rick.
Cleland, I think, is in here.
He's in the chat. Is he a gold medalist?
However, he does.
Is he in the category?
No, he has a first cousin. Rick has a
first cousin.
A first cousin.
Now,
wow.
I think he's Betty Cuthbert.
Wow.
There.
Yeah, she has an extensive profile, and she was nicknamed the Golden Girl, and
she's a twin.
One of twins. Yes.
Wow.
And I thought this was interesting. She had a distinctive running style with a high knee lift and a mouth wide open. There she is.
Look at that.
You could just imagine she's probably going, ah!
Yes.
I love that.
Taking in more oxygen.
Sure.
That's right.
Right.
And bugs, probably.
Bugs.
Yeah.
This is her, second in from the right. And she has a statue.
Wow.
The Melbourne Cricket Ground. That's very
neat.
special. And sadly, she did develop multiple sclerosis later in life. Yeah. So she passed in 2017. And Rick said that he also has a connection to, this is not in the category, I guess, but he has a connection to hockey player Sidney Crosby.
Oh.
So his niece is married to Crosby's first cousin. So not in the category because these are living people, but very. That's pretty close. So 7 degrees to Sidney Crosby. Then Alexis, it would not be a roundup without Alexis giving us a gorgeous photo. So she noted that she is 16 degrees from Countess Helene de Portales, born Helen Barbie. She was an American-born Swiss sailor who competed in the 1900 Summer Olympics in Paris. She represented Switzerland and was the first woman to win an Olympic gold medal. So this is a photo. I mean, we're so used to seeing Olympians, their photos, it's an action shot, whatever the garb is for their sport, but this was 1900. So this is a photo of an Olympian taken the year she won. but she did a costume change.
Yeah, look at that dress.
Yes.
Ooh, that dress looks heavy.
It does. It does. I almost think it's got to have hoops.
Yeah, something.
Muscle. So, and then, so please, I encourage everyone to read these yourself, and more importantly, check out your own connection. Just last one to highlight was Richard Cheek, who wrote, "My closest cousin is not on the big tree because he and his father are still living. But Joey Cheek won a gold medal in speed skating in the 2006 Winter Olympics in Turin, Italy.
Wow.
He is my fifth cousin, one time removed. He's been an analyst in speed skating for several Olympics, including this year's games at the Milano Olympics. What my grandchildren get most excited about is his picture on the Wheaties box."
That's great.
Yes, yeah. So there we have question of the week.
Question of the week. Very
Wow.
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool indeed.
Okay.
Okay. Well, let me share my screen. And I'm just going to carry on from that and show you something that you may not know about. And Azure actually hinted at it in the chat because Azure's joining us as always, and always giving excellent tips and adding links when we don't think about them or don't have them quickly at hand. But what I did, which I think almost everyone probably did as well, when you got to this page, the Olympic gold medalists, we list a whole pile of them. And what you may or may not have noticed is that, there's buttons here, next 200 or previous 200. And when I did it, it goes from A to into the Fs or whatever. And so I hit my connections, and there we go. And so my closest is Joseph Etienne D'Amato, who is French Canadian, competed in the 1904 Olympics, something like that. And his thing was medal throwing. He actually, or weight throwing. So they had a giant weight that he had to wield around and then throw it. And so that was his claim to fame, which was kind of cool.
Kind of like shot put these days.
It's sort of like shot put, yeah. But anyways, big, strong French Canadian. So I thought, I'm done. But that, in fact, gives you all the connections. And I had 18 cousins, so I thought, oh, look at that. I've got 18 cousins. And then a bunch of others that are related, through marriages and stuff. But that actually only shows the connections of those initial 200 on that page. So next 200.
Yes, of course.
Then you get the F to K or L or whatever. And then when I hit my connections there, then I'm going to get my connections. Well, I went through them all. So you get the connections to the different chunk. So then you get some of those. So you get a different list of cousins. So I've got a whole pile of cousins.
So they're not necessarily, the first ones are not necessarily the closest.
No. If your closest relatives are, zygotes, then you'll have to go to the last page.
Sure.
I have to check again.
Right.
I'm honestly, I'm used to looking at categories that are smaller.
Right.
Exactly.
And so they would fit onto one page, but this is a great point with a large category like that.
And I saw someone, I think it was Amanda, but I could be wrong, had said, well, I got none. Well, don't despair. Just go through the different pages and see. But you know what? I can join you because I found a page where I've got French Canadian, I've got cousins all over the place, but I have found a page where I have no cousins. Let me get back to that previous.
Well, I'm used to not having any cousins.
You're used to
not related. Yeah.
Previous 200. Wait a second. Come on.
Oh,
there we go.
I found one.
There.
For the first time.
I've got no cousins on this page. Because I have apparently I'm not related to anyone with Cyrillic alphabet names or
Makes sense. Okay.
or other scripts.
Now, is that true for the DNA test as well? When you scroll up,
when I scroll
and you see where it's got the dark green boxes, there's one that DNA test matches. with,
Oh.
and your ID, scroll up.
Scroll up.
Above the 200. See your dark green? It starts with table, and keep
Table.
going to the left.
Okay, I'm
Up just a
there's
little bit
table.
more.
That
Yeah.
one?
Yep. Keep going to the left.
Left.
I'm sorry, right.
To the
Right.
Right there. Yeah.
There we
click
go.
it.
Oh,
Yeah. So those are your DNA matches. I'm just wondering if that's true for that too. So that
Yeah.
you have to be on a specific page to see if you have DNA matches to those same folks.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
I've never played with that.
You know what? Neither had I. Wow. As you can tell, how hard it was for me to find the button when it's a pretty big button with more words than any other button on that
only
page.
the biggest button on the page.
I was shocked you didn't know where that one was, Greg. I'm shocked.
I know. I'm embarrassed by that. So
that is great.
yeah. And Azure has mentioned that this is a WikiTree browser extension. And you know what we can do?
Yeah.
I do have the WikiTree browser extension installed, and one of the features of that is they've got this little button up here, which is I think if I click on this, it will draw a little outline around things that have been added by the WikiTree browser extension. So if you see, I clicked on it, and you see there's a solid outline around that whole set of buttons.
Yeah.
Right.
So that tells you that those were added by the browser extension. So if you don't have the WikiTree browser extension installed or enabled right now, you may not see these buttons and wondering how are they hallucinating? Where did they get this from? No wonder he doesn't see a button that says DNA test matches. There's not one there. But in fact, there was. I just wasn't paying attention to it.
Wow.
Anyways, I thought I'd show you that, because with the larger connections, you may think, well, I don't have many close relatives, but you just have to scroll, and maybe you do on a few pages later on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Imagine. And I said, I never find any ancestor or not related to anyone. And just as I press the next 200,
Yes.
I see one ancestor. I have one cousin.
Excellent. Wow. There you go. Don't give
Wow,
up.
what a finding.
Don't give up.
Yay.
Oh, excellent.
Awesome.
Okay, so
Great.
the connection checkers this week. Rabbit hole number one is connection, of course, the U.S. presidents and the connection checkers, because so your U.S. President's Day was this past Monday, correct?
Right, the 16th.
The 16th, and that was also in most provinces of Canada. It was also a holiday. It wasn't President's Day for us. In Ontario, we called it Family Day. In a number of provinces, it's called Family Day. Prince Edward Island, it was called Islanders Day. Heritage Day, I think, is what they called it in Alberta. Murray and Rick will correct me where I'm wrong. But anyways, most Canadians also celebrated a holiday on Monday, just a different holiday.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone down under had a holiday on Monday or other parts of the world, but hope you enjoyed your long weekend. So lots of different presents, and we're going to talk about them. Before we do that, though, I did want to give a shout out to a pop-up challenge that has just popped up. We switching slightly from one type of politician to another. The ambassadors have a pop-up challenge because the ambassadors will be a theme coming up in the first week of April, I believe. And so they need to increase the CC7 count of a bunch of these ambassadors. And so this challenge is open. They help us to improve the profiles of these 12 individuals. So if we click on that, you'll see the ones they have chosen. There we go. So Azure had wanted me to highlight this so that people know that this is a neat challenge coming up. And if anyone would like to help out with this, then please do. A colorful group of individuals. So if any of those strike your fancy, please help out with the project. That would be great.
Yes.
So we are going to begin with, and now of course my tabs, I've opened so many tabs, it's really tiny to see. Let me close all my connections tabs. There we go. And there's my gold medalist in the 1904 Summer Olympics. Yes. And you know the sad thing about this poor guy? he died the year later from typhoid.
Wow.
Typhoid. Yeah, very
fever.
sad. I don't know how he contracted that, but like, look how big and strong he was.
You know what's so fascinating to me working with notables are people like this that have their claim to fame that took place in maybe one day.
Yeah.
You know, and they have such a colorful life outside of what maybe they're known for.
Yeah.
But I
like,
get
he was
so
a policeman
fascinated with these lesser known notables and you know, they Betsy was mentioning the one earlier that became a doctor and all that. And they tend to, if they're successful in the Olympics, they tend to be successful in a lot of other areas.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's fascinating reading about these people.
It is indeed. Yeah.
Yeah. They do have lives after the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah. They spend a lot of time training for that, but then afterwards it's off to real life.
Going back to real life, right? And some end up in the security. I've worked on a couple of those recently where you know, they back in the day they didn't all get cereal box contracts and those things that they do today.
That's true.
Yeah, actually my closest, who is John Jacob Astor, he did like everything you could do in life. He was a baron, he was in the army, he was a member of the parliament, and what else? Well, and he was the director of a bank, of an insurance company. He owned the Times, the newspaper. He did everything.
Yeah.
And he was a gold
medalist.
medal.
What was his sport?
Medalist.
What was his sport, Vicky?
Oh, his sport. He was a racket. He won on rackets. I don't know what the name of the sport is.
Like that?
No, it wasn't tennis. It didn't say tennis, but they played doubles and
it could be badminton. Isn't badminton an Olympic sport?
Maybe badminton. Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah,
it could be. Well,
interesting.
I'll take a look. Yeah, it mentioned rackets, just racket.
Yeah.
Well, we digress again.
Looking at the Abraham Lincoln is my closest. Who's your closest? And people in the chat, let us know who your. Oh, people have already. Some people have said who your closest president is. For me, it's Abraham Lincoln, which is interesting.
It's not a bad one.
No, good one.
John Kennedy for me.
What's surprising to me is that they're all pretty clustered around the same, like 16 to 21. That's not a very big spread. Often, for mine, you know, if they have a hint of French Canadian, they're really close, and then if they're not, then it's far, far away. For me.
So for me this week, every single one is under 20. I have a couple of 19s, and that's where I top out. But my closest is James Garfield at 15 degrees.
That's because the U.S. President's Project has done a great work.
Yeah,
absolutely. Building connections, growing CC7s.
Yeah, the U.S. presidents, I think, without exception, all have thousands of CC7s in the thousands. 5,000.
What about Carrie?
About who?
Carrie, what's your closest?
I'll check right now.
Yeah, we want to know.
Oh, Judith is at 14. Oh, someone else is at 14 there.
14.
14 is good. 14 degrees away. And here's the table. I always love this table here. It looks like 8 degrees between Washington and Tyler is one, and then between Grant and Roosevelt. And both of those are with one marriage. I don't see any numbers smaller than 8, but those are the closest ones. But even them, among themselves, I don't even think 19 is the highest. There's not even any 20s, I don't think. Yeah.
Well, and the other thing with the U.S. presidents is they all tend to, I think with the exception of Van Buren, they all have colonial American ancestors.
Right.
So if you've got colonial American ancestry, you're going to be closely.
I am 13 degrees from George Washington.
13?
Wow.
Close, yeah.
Is that the closest we have seen?
I haven't seen any.
I think it is.
Oh, someone said 12. Patricia Jackson
Oh,
is at a
almost.
12. Okay, do I hear any better? Going once, going twice. It's like an auction, connection checkers auction.
We should do that.
Anyone else? Do I hear 11? 11, anyone? Give me an 11. Okay, George Washington. I'm not going to sing the George Washington Bridge song. That could get us taken down by YouTube as well, you know. But yes. So your first president, born. I'm anyone who's new. I am Canadian, by the way. So when I'm using you all the time or your, it's because I'm looking towards the south as I'm speaking to you guys. But this is a global audience, so I'll try to make this interesting for everyone, not just our American WikiTree friends. So born on the 22nd of February, 1732 in Pope's Creek Landing, Westmoreland, Virginia. I'm pretty sure we've seen George Washington's profile before, but did not remember he was born in Pope's Creek, because, you know, that's kind of a neat name. Probably not named after the Pope. Probably someone whose last name was Pope.
Right, a surname.
Passed away 14th of December, 1799 at age 67 in Mount Vernon. Couldn't quite make it to the turn of the century. Got that close. You know? Distant cousin. And surprisingly, I am distant cousins with a lot of the presidents. There we go. First president of the United States. So the very first thing I surprised me when I looked at this profile. Well, first of all, I love these succession boxes, and we'll come back to that in a moment. But I think they're always cool. And of course, he being the first president, then, you know, this to the left should be empty, but it actually tells you that the office was created when it was created. So I think that's kind of cool that when they created the position. But the date is 1789. But I know that this is your bisesquicentennial. I looked up the word. That's the bisesquicentennial. The 250th. Which, because the Declaration of Independence, the beginning of your nation was July 4th, 1776. So, but that's 13 years earlier. So my question is, who was leading the country for those 13 years from 1776 to 1789?
So we actually had a
country on July 1st, 1867. Our first prime minister, John A. Macdonald, was prime minister as of July 1st, 1867. So that
we actually had a set of presidents before George Washington.
You did.
We had a Continental Congress, and the president of the Congress was leading the country. And those names, for some reason, they're obscure. People have never heard of these people. But there was a series of, prior to the Constitution being ratified, there was, like I said, the Continental Congress had a president who was effectively the head of the country.
Okay. I've seen Continental Congress in profiles before. Okay, so that makes sense. So the country there was a leader, it just wasn't officially called the President of the United States.
Right, and they're the ones that made George Washington the head of the army.
Right.
Somebody had to be.
Someone had to appoint him for
that. So there was a government, but we didn't have a constitution yet, so it was kind of a makeshift thing going on there.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you. That clears that up, because I thought that's a big date discrepancy there, and so as a Canadian, that I was curious about that. I don't know if any of the other non-Americans were curious about that or not, but anyways, thanks for clearing that up. There we go. First president, Henry Lee, remarked that he was the first in war, the first in peace, and the first in the hearts of his countrymen, nicknamed the father of his country. Of course, he was born, as we said, near present-day Colonial Beach in Westmoreland County, Virginia. His family had a 113-acre plantation called Ferry Farm. He inherited the farm when he was and lived there until his early 20s. He apparently didn't care for it. It was a crowded, busy, trouble-filled place of limited options. I think he was going to end up moving in places that were even more crowded. So I'm not sure. Interesting. So he was the oldest, but he was the oldest of his father's second wife.
Mhm.
And I missed that detail about second wife, because when then the next part talked about it, he was homeschooled first by his father and later by his older brother, and I was confused. What do you mean older brother? He was the oldest. He was the oldest of the second batch. So then, which is a good lesson when you're reading profiles. You sometimes have to read carefully and not try to speed read, and you miss a few words, because sometimes those words like second wife, are important.
You gloss over them.
Yeah. And speaking of reading, I did read all of these profiles from start to finish, and it took me over an hour and a half. I'm not going to take an hour and a half to go through them here. So we'll just, I'll take a nice chunk of time on our profile of the week, the key one on George, but then I will talk about some other key points on the others. His father died when he was 11. So then he went to live at Mount Vernon, which of course is the place he's most associated with, and that's the name that I would associate with him if I had to answer a trivia contest about where George Washington was from or lived. And he went there to live with his half brother Lawrence. And then when Lawrence died, he inherited Mount Vernon along with Lawrence's widow, but then she died, and so then he became the sole owner of the plantation. He also purchased other land in the Shenandoah, owned a total of 2,315 acres. So quite the land baron. He then became a major, traveled along the national road to order the French off the British territory around Fort Le Boeuf. Then rode with General Braddock. Braddock, unfortunately, was ambushed and killed. He was a hero then, a large landowner. Went into the legislature in Virginia, and of course then during the Revolutionary War I was appointed the commander-in-chief unanimously apparently, and served during the duration of war. He was in New York when the Declaration of Independence was signed, and on the 9th of July assembled his troops to announce the Americans' independence from Great Britain. He created the Purple Heart, which is an interesting, the Purple Heart Award. So I didn't realize that before. It was originally called the Badge of Military Merit, but it has since been called the Military Heart. And Sergeant Elijah Churchill was the first recipient of that. He married Martha, of course, Martha Dandridge, who became Martha Washington. Interesting. The place she lived was called the White House Plantation, which then the term White House, of course, then became known as the home of the president. They left, there's some rumor that because of a bout of smallpox followed by tuberculosis, Washington was unable to father children. And then talk about that. Now, I wonder if this, in your post, Vicky, about Profiles of the Week, there was a link to a problem with the images not showing up. And so I'm wondering if that's what's happening here. There's a picture of George Washington right here. Can you see it?
Yeah,
No.
it looks like there's a caption.
We see the blank space.
You can see and you can see the caption. So if I click on it, it shows up.
Oh,
That's
Now-
odd. Yeah.
Now, is that just me, or does that happen on other people's page?
can you see the extension of the file?
It says JPEG, not JPG.
Oh,
Okay, and it's Washington 11, by the way, Washington-11, if you're trying to find the profile quickly. Anyways, I was wondering if that's the same issue, but that was a different file format, I think.
No, when I pull mine up, it shows up.
Now, you're the profile manager, so you would have God rights on the.
No, that's right. I'm the profile. I believe I am.
Let's see.
Am I on this one?
So,
Yeah.
actually, I saw something odd on your screen, Greg. That
okay.
the George Washington signature was like displaced.
Yes, I noticed that too.
Oh,
So maybe it's something with
Refresh,
your setup.
Okay, I can refresh it.
Yeah, because again, on mine as manager, it's there.
And
Yeah, that's
I
right.
can see the image.
Signature is in the right place now, and
There it is.
Yeah,
There we
and now
go.
you can see it, right?
Yeah.
It was that one. Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
Maybe someone was working on the profile.
Maybe.
They're
Well,
building it.
Weird things. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. He said this was an interesting piece of thing. He never wanted to appear as a king, but as a servant of those who elected him. And he listened to the advice of his cabinet members before making decisions. And the other thing here was that he didn't want to accept a salary because obviously he was a huge landowner and quite wealthy. But they convinced him that the presidency, to have a salary, so that, I guess, as to set a precedent, so that the presidency then could be open to not just rich people, but anyone who could accept it, because, they could accept a salary and they could live, It's not just for those who have riches and can afford to go, years without, being paid, sort of thing. It's curious. Now, that makes me curious. How many presidents actually needed the salary that the presidency provided to actually survive, or were independently wealthy and didn't really need it? So, but that's a side thought, because my brain has lots of side thoughts. And the last thing I'd like that impressed me, and I think so appropriate that we are in Black History Month, is the note about he had 124 slaves, but in his will, when he died, he freed them all. And it says here that he was the only one of the 8 presidents who had owned slaves while in office. Washington is the only one who set them all free. So I find that interesting. Of course, timeline is long and complicated. Can't do it justice, so there's a little bit there. So very interesting. One other thing I wanted to mention while we're here and we're talking about things that look a little glitchy, I have the WikiTree browser extension on, and you'll see in my list of people these blank names. There's obviously, it looks like there's a bug in the program or on the page or whatnot, and that is because of a change in the format in the way the names are being displayed just on WikiTree in general, and so the parsing is done differently, and so that'll be fixed eventually. But if I turn off the extension and then reload the page, I'll show you what it looks like without the WikiTree extension going. And so you'll see what's happened in the list of brothers, because that was in the brothers. There's double sets of the square brackets. Can you see that?
Yes.
So for half siblings, like there's square brackets and then the word half in square brackets. And in fact, every person has large square brackets after them, whether they're half siblings or not. So it looks like there's an extra set of square brackets. So that's just a temporary thing. I'm sure the WikiTree team is on that, and it will be fixed later on. So if you come to a profile, and you see a bunch of these square brackets and think, what's that all about? Whether you've got the browser extension or not, that kind of looks strange, right? Those extra square brackets at the end, and you can just ignore them. But if you're wondering why they're there, it's just a little bug that's going to be fixed. So it's not a big deal. Don't stress. And if you do have the WikiTree browser enabled, and it looks like you've got a bunch of really strange things happening here, and you try to click on one, you'll get to this page does not exist. Don't freak out. Just click on the ones that do have names that are recognizable, and you can see those. So, sort of public service announcement, don't panic.
Ignore.
Just ignore. It'll all be fine. And we'll probably talk about it at the Tech Talk Zoom call, which will be Monday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Little plug in there. Okay, next. And what I've done is I've rearranged the presidents so that they're in chronological order. So George is number 1. The next one is number 10, John Tyler, who I must confess, sorry, as a Canadian, I had never heard of before.
I'm sorry, I just read John Tyner.
Yeah, I know. I saw that too, and I thought,
How
did John Tyner, Irish John, get in here?
Sorry.
No, it's John Tyler. There we go. Who's the ninth president. Oh, I wrote down 10th. Ninth president of the United States. And let's see. No, it says he's the 10th president of the United States. Ooh. Okay.
That could be an error.
That could be an error. Okay.
Yeah, we were
Okay.
just redoing the
succession box. Yes.
succession box. Yeah.
The succession box had been
But
missed
he
a
was
little bit.
re-elected. Sorry, he said he was succeeded by him.
He was 9th and 10th.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Nice.
maybe.
Let me
I
pull
don't
it up and we'll
not
get
sure.
it fixed.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
David, the U.S. President Project, he's going to be investigating this and he'll fix it for us. But
Yeah, he'll fix it.
what says 10 here? I'm
Yeah,
going to go with 10.
He was the 10th.
He was the 10th. Okay. Okay. I'll refresh the page after we, anyways.
So we'll get that fixed really quickly.
Also born in Virginia, or had a family plantation in Virginia. He was the first president to be born after the Constitution was adopted. So prior to that, people had already been born prior to that. Connected with William Henry Harrison, prominent politician. He was also a governor, and so many of the, let's see, where was the governor? Governor of Virginia, of course. Many presidents were either governors or senators before becoming presidents. So he was one of those as well. Interesting, he was part of a political party, which I don't think, well, it's not called this anymore, the Whig Party.
The Whig Party.
Yeah. It doesn't mean they wear wigs. It was just the name of their political.
Many of our early presidents were part of the Whig Party. After the Civil War, the Whig Party doesn't exist anymore. But
Right.
it was a major party back in the day.
Now, did it morph into the Democrats or the Republicans, or was it totally separate and not really connected?
It did indirectly, and I can't recall which party it became. But yeah, it morphed into one of the modern parties.
Mm-hmm. So he became the 10th president after President Harrison died. And he was the first president actually to become president because of succession, because he was VP, vice president. And when the sitting president died, he became the president, but that was the first time that had ever happened.
Yeah, and an interesting tidbit on that. So William Henry Harrison died after just 1 month in office, so he became president right away. But there was no rule about succession, so he just became the president. He just did it.
He just did it. I said, I'm doing it.
Yeah, and everybody accepted it, and that's just the way it worked out. But there was no law in place that allowed that.
Right. Well, I mean, it makes sense, but yeah, you're right. It's not written in, right?
You weren't supposed to die in office. So
you weren't supposed to do it. Yeah, you're supposed to be young and fit, and yeah. But 31 days, that's sort of like Pope John Paul I, right? Had such a short little tenure as Pope, and then
what was the cause of death?
He went to his inauguration in the middle of winter time.
Yep.
He got sick at the inauguration and passed away a month later.
Wow. And you still do your inaugurations in January. So are you trying to?
We still do them in January, and most of the time it's outside.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and that's because the elections are in November.
Well, that's true. Yeah, you're not going to wait till summer to. That would be too long to wait for sure.
It's a test.
Yeah. Okay. Next one, chronologically, in terms of presidency, is the 16th president, which is my closest, Abraham Lincoln.
He's my closest as well.
Born 1809, passed away 15 April 1865, Washington City, District of Columbia. Of course, very famous. There's his nice signature there. His honest, there's one anecdote here about Honest Abe. Even when he was a clerk at a local store, he refused to cheat anyone. Even if it was a quarter pound of tea or a few cents that he overcharged a patron, he made sure the person received what was owed, going so far as walking 2 miles to their home. So I don't know if there's that sounds almost like a folk tale, but I'm not sure. But I believe I can believe it's true, or the spirit is true for sure. I'm thinking if they gave you a few cents too many, you should have counted that in the till before they left the store, because it would have been much easier than have to walk 2 miles to catch up to them. But,
that was big bucks back in the 1830s.
Yeah, I know, it's true.
For sure.
Yeah, that's right. Of course, he became a lawyer and then went on to politics. Oh, there's the Whig Party once again, elected the Whig Party, and then joined the new Republican Party. And of course, most famous for steering through the American Civil War.
So he was the first Republican.
He was the first Republican. Oh, okay. There you go.
President.
Ah, okay. I did not know that. Did it say that? Well, he said he joined the new Republican Party and asked to run as its presidential candidate. There you go. So as he became president, he made his opposition to slavery very clear. And I guess that's one of the things that provoked the Southerners, scared them, and formed the Confederacy. And of course, then the Civil War, Emancipation Proclamation. Let's see if I refresh the page, if that image will come back. There we are. I don't know why the images didn't load initially. There we go. Thanksgiving. So he's the one who declared the last Thursday of November as the day of Thanksgiving. Battle, of course, famous for the Battle of Gettysburg and whatnot. Now, this is I didn't realize the timing here, and I'm sure all of you know about this, and it's you've learned about this in school and whatnot. But the final surrender from Confederate General Robert E. Lee happened on the 9th of April, and then he made a speech about. And in the speech, he said, "It's also unsatisfactory to some that the elective franchise is not given to the colored man. I would myself prefer that it now conferred on the very intelligent and those who serve our cause as soldiers." Another appropriate remark during Black History Month. But apparently as a direct result of that, John Wilkes Booth, who heard that, uttered that that's the last speech he'll ever make, and then he made sure that happened, because within a week he assassinated him.
Mm-hmm.
I did not realize those events were so closely tied together chronologically.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, which makes me sad that, after the war is finally done and over, emancipation has been declared, he didn't have any time to really enjoy the fruits of his labor and see the country sort of turn around and move on to the next chapter.
Yeah, he didn't even get to see the emancipation ratified in all of the states that existed back then. He didn't get to see that because the last one to ratify didn't happen until like December 1865.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's interesting. Now, I just happened to glance at Rick's comment about this photo here, and I was thinking that looks, doesn't look quite real. Like that looks, but anyway, he said it is photoshopped.
Huh.
The photo in the front of the tent is unnoted.
Odd.
Yeah, it could have been AI generated.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it looks so photorealistic.
Mm-hmm.
But they are wax statues.
Yeah, wax statues. Yeah.
Wax. Sorry.
Yeah.
They look like statues.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
There are stories, though, of his team being worried about him being out there on the battlefield, standing a foot taller than everybody else with his top hat on.
Oh yes.
That it made a good target for a sniper.
A good target. Yeah, it's amazing he was. Yeah, interesting. Then we have Ulysses S. Grant. Though he wasn't born Ulysses S. Grant. He was Hiram Ulysses Grant.
Hiram.
Born in 1822, died in 1885. Came from Ohio. Denise?
Yes.
Point Pleasant. Sounds like a nice.
We've got a few.
You've got a few. So he was the 18th president of the United States. And so just 2 after Abraham Lincoln. And if we look at the thing, so Andrew Johnson. So Andrew Johnson must have been the one who succeeded.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. There we
Andrew
go.
Johnson was the vice president.
Andrew Johnson. Okay. There we go. So he was 18th president, and during the Civil War, he was the commanding general of the U.S. Army, noted for his defeat of the Confederate States and, of course, subsequent surrender of Robert E. Lee. So he was there. He accepted the surrender of Robert E. Lee just that week before Lincoln was assassinated. Yeah. The cool thing about him, and I think we was the well, a couple things. First of all, his father applied to West Point for him, of course, which is a military institution, and sent a letter confirming that his entry to West Point. But Ulysses said, I don't want to go. I won't go. His father said, you're going. So he knew he'd be going to West Point. And what was very cool is because of going to West Point and a mistake in the paperwork, he was dubbed Ulysses Simpson Grant instead of Hiram Ulysses Grant. And so from then on, he was known as U.S. Grant.
Yeah, his congressman had to write a letter in support of him and accidentally got the name wrong.
Wow.
Called him Ulysses Simpson Grant, and he tried to get it changed back, but once the records were in, it was too much bureaucracy, and he gave up.
Once the bureaucracy has it,
he just changed his name.
Even back then.
But my name's not that. Too bad. No, it's written here in paper.
It is now.
It was easier to change his name than to get the paperwork correct.
There we go. So hence Ulysses S. Grant was born, and so on.
Hey, you guys, I hate to interrupt, but I gotta run. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us, Carrie.
Okay,
Thanks,
Carrie.
so much.
You.
Have a great day, everybody.
Yeah, you too.
You too.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, anyways, well known for his military background, and then, of course, then as president. Here's some of his highlights. Appoints the first Native American as the Commissioner of Indian Affairs. He establishes an 8-hour workday for federal employees. Signs the 15th Amendment, giving black males the right to vote. Creates the first Civil Service Commission, and Yellowstone is the first national park. And also signs the amnesty bill for men who served in the Confederate Army. I think that was probably important to unify the country. Now, interesting story here. In 1884, he discovered he had throat cancer, and then also had to declare bankruptcy. So, he knows he's going to die, and he has no money, and so he's worried about his wife and how she's going to survive. So he decides to write his memoirs, hoping that they will sell and garner enough cash so that she can survive, comfortably until she passes on. And what I first of all, I didn't know anything about the memoirs, being Canadian. Maybe you guys knew all about that, but I did not. And what's really cool is Mark Twain, like the Mark Twain, obviously was a personal friend and helped him out, and even helped sell copies of the memoirs. He sent out to former Union soldiers door to door to get subscriptions for it. And he worked on them and kept on working them until basically a week before he passed away. And they did garner enough money so that Julia was able to survive. But
yeah, that's
touching,
sad. But that was a little before my time, Greg. I wasn't.
I know. So. But I thought that was a touching thing. Mm-hmm. And imagine Mark Twain. Wow, that's very cool. Here we are. James Garfield, born 1831, died 1881. Distant cousin.
Another Buckeye.
Oh, yeah, Ohio. There we go. 20th president of the United States. We're almost halfway there, right? Served only 4 months before his death. Another short-term presidency. But he died in office. He was the first one to be assassinated, I believe.
After Lincoln.
Well, no, Lincoln was.
Oh,
first.
Lincoln, right. So
Yeah.
what did I say? Oh, he was assassinated, not the first one to be assassinated. He was assassinated, yeah. And the sad thing is, he was assassinated by someone who basically didn't get a job promotion, didn't get a political appointment.
There's a grudge.
By a grudge, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say something.
Yeah.
I'm really loving these pictures, these photographs that we are seeing on every profile.
Yeah.
By the side with the number. It's the photograph
Yes,
and the
me
number.
too.
I
Yeah.
bet that's something the project is doing.
The side.
On the right
David?
side.
The right side.
Go up.
When you see the carousel of photos.
Oh yeah.
The first
Yeah.
one.
See
Yeah,
the
First one is
they would
always
be-
one.
Yeah, they would generally be in the carousel, but they don't have to be. You can. Some of us have like free space pages where we collect photographs
Mhm.
and then embed them into the text.
Yeah, they're
But you
on
mean
every
the
profile.
with the number of the presidency? Is
I
that what you
really
mean?
love
Yeah.
that.
Oh, that one there. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are before my time, but they've been there. Yeah, they have a set of them that somebody found that has the number.
It looks like a standard thing, and I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's neat.
Mhm.
That is neat. Yeah. So that was sad. But what I have here, education benefit. Yeah, talked about his love of learning and the Civil War, and then there he was to death. And interesting here, he believed that education would benefit everyone, no matter their race or income. The high privilege, here's a quote, I like quotes. It's the high privilege and sacred duty of those now living to educate their successors and fit them by intelligence and virtue for the inheritance which awaits them. This beneficent work, sections and races should be forgotten, and partisanship should be unknown. Very good. Next, we have Theodore Roosevelt Jr., or Teddy Roosevelt, the 26th President of the United States. And this quote here, I know we've had his profile before, and but I love this quote, talking about not the critic who counts. It's not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by the dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes up short again and again, but there is no effort without error and shortcomings, who knows the great devotion, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end of the high achievement of triumph, and who at worst, if he fails while daring greatly, knows his place shall never be with those timid and cold souls who know neither victory nor defeat. So it's in the doing that comes the honor, not the criticizing of those who try to do something. Yeah. Very impressive. Of course, very accomplished person even before he became president. Hunting, boxing, physique, true American hero, Rough Rider. He was the new. I searched through the profile just to confirm that, just like the TV show Blue Bloods indicates, he was in fact the commissioner of the New York City Police. There it is. For 2 years, he worked as the New York City Police commissioner, just like the TV show said. So.
Yeah, his picture is always in the background.
Exactly. Yeah. So I thought, did they just make that up, or
no, that's real?
That was real. Yeah, and again, of course, he governor New York before he became vice president. And then he became president after the current sitting president was assassinated. Speak softly and carry big stink, something he was famous for saying, which it was, in fact, a West African proverb. I didn't realize that's where it had originally come from. So neat. Then we have Calvin Coolidge, right after the president after the World War I and right before the Great Depression, 30th president. He achieved his principal objectives of debt reduction and tax reform. And although he enjoyed widespread popularity, he chose to retire from political life after serving just one term, leaving the country, I think it's probably, that's a typo there, probably means country, in sound financial condition. So, I mean, sound enough financial condition until the Great Depression hit. But
yeah, he'd turn over in his grave right now.
Yeah, indeed, for sure. But I'm wondering if he didn't do all this debt reduction and tax reform, how worse it would have been during the Depression without some of that. I don't know.
Yeah,
And he just wanted everybody to know it was fine when I left.
It was fine when I left. Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently known as a quiet person, man of few words. But here's a sad note here, and probably one of the reasons he didn't go for a second term. In 1924, his son Calvin, who was only 16 at the time, died of blood poisoning. And apparently he was never the same after that loss. I can imagine depression and whatnot, so that's sad. Truman, Harry S. Truman. And in this case, the S was not because of a clerical error, and it didn't actually stand for anything. It was just put there. His name is Harry S. Truman. It sort of was to appease both grandfathers, because both grandfathers had an S in their name. So it could have been the S for ship, as in Anderson Ship Truman, or it could be the S for Solomon Young.
That's some very clever naming on the parents.
Isn't that clever? Could be this grandfather, could be this one, or it could be anything. Maybe it was Simpson. Could be Simpson again.
I love it.
Like Ulysses Simpson Grant could be.
So then you wonder if they told each grandfather that he was named after them, or did they actually tell him that he was named for both of them?
Or just left it to their imagination.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, that was cool. His father was a farmer. Then they moved to Independence, Missouri. That's a neat name for a town, Independence. So does Independence, Missouri have a really special anniversary in this, bicentennial,
Uh-huh.
Or do they really do Independence Day really well in Independence, Missouri? That's inquiring minds want to know. Of course,
what I've noticed that's interesting, a lot of these presidents were Masons.
Yes.
Yes, I was going to say that.
Yes.
Yeah. And now one of there is one who was even while he was president. There was one who's the profile had said he was the only one who was an active Mason during his presidency.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was John Tyler, but I could be wrong. But one of them said that. But you're right. A number of them we're free Masons, or we're associated with Masons.
At least the last two.
Yeah. Now this is interesting. He had bad eyesight. Oh, this is so. He had bad eyesight, and of course he failed his eye exam on the first attempt in 1905. But he knew he wouldn't pass it the second time, so he cheated. He memorized the chart.
Wow.
He cheated on the test. It's like
he was motivated.
Got a copy of the exam before. Anyways, so it was accepted because he passed the test.
Wow.
And then part of the National Guard, the Missouri Artillery, Field Artillery Regiment, and so on, and even up to the rank of major in the Officers Reserve Corps. Married Bess, of course, and then became president after the Second World War. And did he become president after his FDR died? I think he did, right?
Truman did, yes.
Truman did, yeah.
He was vice president.
He was vice president. Became lots of things, of course, happening.
And he inherited the presidency at the end of World War II, so he had quite a burden that he.
Yeah, because he was the one. Where is here the list of things? Was he the one responsible for the decision to drop the bombs in Japan?
Yes, he was.
Yeah. And then had to deal with lots of other stuff as well.
And at the time, it was kind of transitional time, but Vice presidents back in the day, basically their job was to sit tight and just be there in case something happened. So he wasn't necessarily part of the inner circle when he took over. Today, the vice presidents get much more involved. But back then, it was a pretty boring
job. Wow. Popular for the buck stops here. If you can't stand the heat, better get out of the kitchen, whatnot. Died of pneumonia in 1972. There you go. First president born in Missouri. There we go. First president to be assigned a Secret Service code name, but it doesn't say what his code name was. Do you know what his code name was?
No idea. It was secret.
It was secret. Yeah, there we go. And the first to have experience in all three branches, yes, because he was a judge at one point in his before. JFK, John Fitzgerald Kennedy Sr.
Now, he donated his salary to charity.
His
presidential salary was donated to charity.
Oh, good. Neat. 35th president of the United States. And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. And even more interesting, I like the second half. My fellow citizens of the world, ask not what America will do for you, but what together we can do for the freedom of man. Is that still a sentiment?
It is for some.
Okay, good.
Dearly love it to be.
Yes. We can aspire to that. There. Yeah. Bookish in high school, sickly as a child, actually. In fact, given last rites at birth because they were afraid. Chronically ill and back pain. He suffered from that. Of course, being in a torpedo boat that was rammed probably didn't help for bad back. Famous, of course, for his marriage to Jacqueline Bouvier, and then, of course, the sad end, the assassination in Dallas, November 22nd. Yeah, there we go. Then we have Richard Milhouse Nixon, the 37th president of the United States. Of course, has a notorious end to his career. What I hadn't realized before was how involved in politics he had been early on, like way earlier than when he became president. Senator back in the 50s, early 50s, and then vice president back in 53. So there was a huge gap between his vice presidency to his presidency. And in fact, I guess he lost a number of battles, and then at one point said, "You won't have Nixon to kick around anymore." He was just tired of losing. But apparently, they wooed him back, and 1968, there he is.
Then kicked him out again.
But then, of course, famous for Watergate,
the
Nixon tapes, and it wasn't just one bad decision. It was a bunch of bad decisions after another, trying to cover things up. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah, some historians will tell you he would have been one of the greatest U.S. presidents had he not screwed it up with.
Yeah, because I mean, his connection with China and where that could have led or whatever. But yeah, that's too bad. And then we have Ronald Wilson Reagan, and wait a second, where's his succession chart? It's missing.
There it was.
I saw it.
We saw it. There it is.
When you went,
Yeah, I went back to this is Richard Nixon's.
Oh, you went back to Nixon. Okay.
Yeah. So when I first came to this, and in fact, David had fixed another one before, but the succession chart, this happens, when you edit a profile and you fix one thing, sometimes your cursor's somewhere else and it messes things up. And templates are especially tricky. So when you look at these succession, these are actually templates. So they're coded in Wiki on the profile, and you do have to follow the formatting. fairly carefully for them to be interpreted right, and so they could be displayed properly. And if there's multiple sections, if there's multiple things you're succeeded for, then it's even trickier in that. So,
yeah. And they're placed up near the categories. And what happened with Reagan's, we checked before the show, is somebody deleted or altered a category, and in so doing, accidentally grabbed the succession box as well and deleted it.
Mm.
So what I thought I'd show is we'll make this error a teachable moment, and so I'm just going to quickly show you how to fix that. Now, for succession charts, those are used. Okay, so I have my enhanced editor on, which makes it very difficult. I'm going to turn that off to see. There we go. That's probably a little more viewable.
Much, yeah. Thank you.
No problem. So there's the categories. The categories are always enclosed in double square brackets, right? California notable.
If you look at the bottom of the categories, the very last one, you see the residue of the succession box that's still remaining there.
There you go.
Right above the biography line.
Yeah. So there's U.S. president. And so the squigglies, the double squigglies, are squirrely brackets, I like to call them, are templates and not categories. So we have a U.S. president squiggly or template, and then there's the succession one. Now the succession one, there's a bunch of stuff that should go in there. But if I put my template, if I go edit template, let's see, maybe it's not going to, maybe it doesn't, because it doesn't recognize. What if I do this? Will it recognize it?
Yeah, I was wondering where
there it is. There we go. I put this, if I close it up so that it looks like an actual template, and then I put my cursor in the middle of it, and I go to the templates and edit template, then we can fill in the information that we need there. And it's important. So you need an image, the position years before and years after. And luckily, because of the history, like I love this feature, you can go to the history and you can see what was there before. And I grabbed that from the history, so I know what to fill in here. So I can just grab that image, put that there. And then he was the 4th president, so I'll put that in there, position. Years are 8, 9. So I'm going to keep on doing this. So David, can you talk? So who should be doing this for profiles, and which profiles specifically have succession templates?
So succession boxes are intended to be used for high-level people who have high-level political positions or have fit into some sort of historically significant chain. And I've got the help page open right here, and I'll just read it, but it says they should only be used for successions with great genealogical or biographical significance, where navigating from one profile to another in succession is a common need for users. Now that still leaves it kind of open to judgment. And basically, the idea is we don't use these unless we're working with a project, so like the U.S. President's Project. And then it's up to the project to decide what's either historically or genealogically significant. So typically a member isn't going to just be adding them to, their family profiles or something along those lines. There was a big debate on G2G as to what counts, what doesn't count. And I don't know that ever got specifically resolved, because we don't like to put WikiTree doesn't like to put a lot of steadfast rules that you can't do this and you have to do that. We kind of like to leave it open for teams to make some, have some flexibility to decide. But the real key is they should be used for individuals where people are going to have an interest, number one, in going from one person to the next in order, such as the kings of England or the presidents of the United States. And if we are going to use them, we should make sure that we're creating the profiles from start to finish. So we talked before the show, Greg and I were talking, so you maybe want to use it for the mayor of your small town. Well, if your town's been around for 200 years, then you need to be prepared to create every mayor for 200 years. Because if you don't have everyone in there, then it doesn't serve any purpose to do the succession.
You don't want a broken chain. No.
But in general, they should be for high-level positions. We also don't use it, for example, for congressmen and U.S. senators because they tend not to, boundaries get changed and districts get changed. And so there isn't necessarily a clear succession that this person replaced that person and replaced that person and so on. So it should be something with a smooth transition. World leaders in particular, it's appropriate for. But again, we have some with, some of the African countries have been using them. But again, they need to be prepared to go from start to finish.
Right.
Now, some of the African countries aren't that old, so they've only had 3 or 4 presidents, and so that's easy to do.
That's easier, yeah.
But
Great.
But yeah,
thanks,
it's
David.
kind of up to the judgment of the projects as to what they're going to do that for. With the notables, we get requests on that. I was mentioning earlier that somebody had wanted to do the James Bond actors. And that doesn't fit, in our opinion, either historically significant or genealogically significant. So it doesn't meet the criteria for that. And if you start doing that, what happens is it starts becoming clutter on some pages rather than a helpful genealogical tool.
And these are good for other countries as well, right?
Right.
So
we
go to England.
We use them on countries all over the world.
Right. Okay.
Kings and queens,
Popes,
presidents of various countries. Yeah.
So there we go. I hit the update and it saved it. Put the comment in, and there we have it. We have the succession box successfully done. So there we go. You can do that, and you can use that same sort of technique for editing any template. So, I mean, you can type it in, you can hard code itself by putting the squigglies and the dashes and all that stuff that's in Wiki code. But with the edit template, it makes it a little easier and stuff. Now, Amanda had asked an excellent question. Wouldn't it be easier just to restore the profile? And it might have been.
We thought so.
But that was cool, you showing the template.
Yeah, it might have been. And the other, what I had done is I had copied the paste, but then there's copying and pasting it gave me a bunch of extra characters. So that's why I separated it into little tables so I could copy. And
we didn't want to restore the whole page because there were other edits made.
Yeah.
But when we copied it from the prior edit box over to the page, the formatting got all screwed up, so it didn't quite work that well. But another cheat that I do use, if I see something like a succession box or some other template, a table that I really like and I don't know how to do it, I just cut and paste from the other profile, move it over, and then change the parameters, the dates or whatever's in there.
Yeah.
I do that with tables all the time. Somebody will have coloring or formatting that I really like, and you can also go to the succession box help page and get the template there.
Now this person that's asking about the Olympic champions for a certain sport, space page.
Yeah, that sounds like a good space page.
Space page would be a great opportunity for that, because if you don't know everybody throughout the entire Olympics,
that's right.
And again, sports change. They change the different formats of the
criteria.
Categories.
It's not always a smooth. And again, the question is there a genealogical need? Do people come on wanting to know necessarily? Is that something that people are going to utilize?
Good question.
And it's a judgment call. There's no right or wrong answer there. But it's
let's finish off the presidents here. So Ronald Reagan, of course, before he was president, he was a famous actor. But what I found interesting about that is that he started his acting career when he was in the Army. Which I didn't realize. He was part of the U.S. Army Reserves, and then during the war, he was assigned temporary duty in New York City, transferred to the Army Air Forces, and then subsequent to the motion picture base in Culver City, and he and his group produced actually 400 training films. So he was acting, and his group was acting to produce training films for the Air Force.
Wow.
So he was putting his acting to good use.
Uh-huh.
So that was good. Because was he nearsighted as well? I'm trying to think if that was
that I don't know.
maybe I'm still agog at the president who cheated in the eye exam. That just I can't get over that. But then, of course, after that, he became famous in Hollywood, and then governor of California, another governor, and then, of course, President Reagan, famous for Reaganomics, the ending of the Cold War, and other things. The confident roar of American progress and growth of optimism. Sadly diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, died after 10 years of that. And the final one is Barack Obama Jr., distant cousin, very distant cousin, 44th president of the United States, born in Honolulu, Hawaii. Only president from Honolulu, from Hawaii. Is that correct?
I think so. I believe so.
Yeah.
Married Michelle when he was employed as a summer associate. And junior U.S. senator from Illinois, and then president of the United States.
Yeah, I mean, Hawaii didn't exist until what, 1950?
Right.
As a state union, the late 40s. I don't know what.
Yeah, I forget too. But
so now again, here we see this little formatting error here. But on my profile, I do see one daughter. So is she notable? Is she involved with charities or?
There's a daughter who's in media film, like she's a film director or.
Yeah.
Malia is the eldest, and I think she's starting to do things that she's notable for now. I think. I don't know.
Yeah. So the Obamas have a page as a family. And so the daughters are named there, but they didn't have their own page. Now that may have changed in the years since I last checked, but they were not originally considered independently notable.
Right. Well, there you have it. So there we go. That was a tour through the presidents. I made notes so that I would be a little more efficient, but apparently notes throughout them. Let's just throw them at the.
Good job, Greg.
Great, yes.
So for those people who wrote that they really like extra long roundups, you got your wish today.
Yes, you did.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah. I hope. Thank you for putting up with me. So what's going on this week? There's lots going on this week. And let's see. So here we are. Q&A Zoom tomorrow. Betsy and Denise, will you both be there?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I won't. But
I will.
Yeah,
you'll be there.
Yep.
And
Hillary, Gatsby,
Hillary, Murray, Steve.
Hillary, Murray, Steve. Yeah.
Fantastic. We have a question of the week. Will be coming up on Monday, and as I mentioned earlier, 6 p.m. there is the Tech Talk on Monday night. So please join us. Ask all your tech questions. And if you have questions in advance, I did put a GDG post about the Tech Talk, so you can add your questions there so we can be prepared, or you can just ask directly. And we had lots of questions from people who Zoomed in with us last month, so that's exciting. Right. Vardy's the One Name Studies. We'll have another Connection Checkers game as of Tuesday. Cubicle Party for the link builders on Tuesday as well. And all the links are there, so you can join. Molten Texas is the One Place Study Wednesday. And the Discord party for Texas will be Friday night. Or Friday, I don't know if it is at night. If it says what time. Oh, well, you can find that out. Friday date night is going to be Friday as well. And then we will be back on Saturday. And once again, let me remind you about the Ambassadors Pop-Up Challenge.
Oh, okay.
And also, please give us feedback about the roundup.
Yes, please.
Is it too long? What else can we add to make it even longer, or
cut,
or whatever?
Additional segment ideas.
Something
new.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. But
And
anyways,
thank you in advance for sharing your ideas with us.
Yes, because we do
Yes.
want honest feedback and
Yes.
whatnot. So thank you for joining us. Thank you, David, for being here.
And
sharing
don't
your-
forget, at 2:00 today Eastern time is our
Yes.
notables workshop.
Notables workshop. Excellent. That'll be great. Yeah, join David then. Thank you, David, and thank you to Carrie for joining us earlier as well. Thank you for all of you for sticking around. Have a great week. We'll see you next weekend. Bye-bye.
Yes.
All right. Bye.